Killian Hayes seems to be taking a mini leap of sorts over his last, I think, 11 or so games at this time of recording when he's been starting, where he's looked a lot better. The shots are falling at a higher rate, but he looks confident, he looks aggressive, he looks sure of himself in a way that he hasn't. Obviously, a guy who, a lot of people, myself included, thought was a top 3 prospect in the 2020 draft has not lived up to that. But there's been good stuff recently, and we're going to look at some of that as well. The biggest thing, statistically at least, is Killian becoming an awesome pull-up mid-range shooter. I don't have the numbers in front of me because I was too lazy to get them, but he's shooting high 40s from long 2 on the season, and over this stretch, he's shooting almost 50% on fairly high volume pull-ups, which is up there with anyone in the league right now. And he's just been really comfortable coming off of these, double drag kind of actions the Pistons like to run and pulling up from 15 feet. He's really, really great just settling into this kind of area right here. I don't know why my space button's not working to pause stuff. He's settling into this little area. Watch him snake this pick and roll back to the left here to kind of take campaign out of the equation, and he uses his high release to pull up over him from about 15 feet. That shot has been money for Killian. And because of that size, he can just kind of rise over guys. This is just a straight ISO pull-up that Killian's been hitting. Obviously, he's been hot, but with his size, he's able to get these shots whenever he wants. And with that high release, he can get those shots whenever he wants. And the size is so good, and he's good at using his size to really enable and weaponize his pull-ups. Where here he has a small guard on him, and because of how quickly he transitions from dribble to shot, let's watch frame by frame. He goes dribble, and then he immediately pulls. His ability to kind of pull off of wonky-ish footwork, you see this kind of wide base here. He's square going up, and he turns really wide to align himself midair. The balance is impressive. And it allows him to do things like where he stops on the dime right here and pulls up over a smaller defender. It's not just been the size, though, that allows Killian to create. His handle creating space for these pull-ups in the mid-range is really nice, as he's developed an array of these snatchback kind of moves where he's using his forward momentum to create space against, a lot of smaller defenders we see him doing his work on. I love this quick behind the back move. Again, campaign is trying to recover to the screen, even if he's chasing under because of Killian's 3-point shooting, which we'll get to. He's still able to exploit that momentum for a soft little pull-up, a beautiful little pull-up jumper there. And we talked about the threes. Killian, his 3-point shooting has been an issue all his career. But he's getting to the point, I think, where it's becoming harder and harder to just go under on him. Still, only 31-ish% on the year, but over this stretch, it's been closer to 35 almost. And it's getting to the point where it's nice to see Killian with the confidence to see Jalen Brunson go under and be like, all right, I'm just gonna pull up and I'm gonna hit. And he's been doing this with some good consistency and good confidence over the last couple, 10 or so games that he's played, which is really great to see. And just a big opener for his pick and roll play, which we'll talk about a little more. Just the shooting confidence, its increase from a couple years ago is crazy. We're going to look at some catch and shoot jumpers where this is from, I believe, a couple seasons ago, where Killian's feet are just, not great. This jumper just looks kind of uncomfortable. The elbows are flaring out a lot here at the top. As you can see, the lower body isn't smooth. It's just not a very comfortable looking shot. It doesn't look like Killian is natural shooting that ball, really in the slightest at all. That was the theme. He takes so long to set here, and then even then the base just is kind of off, and because of he's able to hit that there, but you can just see how much the confidence has increased in this season and this stretch, where Killian is still not a great catch and shoot shooter, but the footwork is way more consistent. He loves this kind of tight 1-2 with the left foot in front of the right, and he pulls immediately there without hesitation, which is a big difference from before. He's getting much more comfortable, kind of finding his space when his teammates attack closeouts. And this is what's been awesome for him, having guys like Boyan and Cade and Ivy who can all dribble and attack, to allow him to get these easier off-ball opportunities more consistently, where you see that again, little left foot in front of the right, pull into a jumper. And I thought this one was just such a comfortable looking shot. Quick 1-2. The organization is so fast. Despite a defender closing out hard at him, Killian is not phased, and the jumper is smooth, and it's cash, and it's great to see. And as we talked about, this is really going to open up his, pick and roll playmaking game. There's still stuff like this in his game where he's just kind of like isoing into nothing because he can't really create much separation 1v1, but that's becoming less and less of an issue because he's not having to play this role as much with Cade and Ivy and Boyan and all these guys, taking these assignments from Killian and allowing him to focus on stuff like this, which really opens up when his shot making is going down. When Killian can fire skip passes to the weak corner. Look at that little hook pass. This is incredible velocity, accuracy with the left hand on the move. He's doing it from the other side as well. His skip passes are phenomenal. Using his height to see over the defense and his skills to make those passes. Again, it's always tough for lefty passers to make this right-left skip pass. We've seen Harden struggle with it for years. So nice to see Killian use both hands there to fling that pass to Isaiah Stewart in the corner again. Having shooters, having guys who can attack closeouts has been awesome for Killian to rack up more assists and to get more of these passing opportunities. The Pistons really are good at creating off-ball opportunities for Killian to exploit. This cut here opens up the three where Killian's able to easily find him wide open in the corner and easily find Boyan. And then there's been a little bit of this isolation creation off the dribble, finding Isaiah Livers in the corner there. Mikal Bridges is not easy to guard. And because Killian is becoming a pull-up threat, Mikal can't just sit back and track back because he knows that Killian can exploit that and snatch and go for a little pull-up. Mikal allows baseline, and he makes a beautiful left-handed hook pass to the corner there. These are all Killian's bread and butter, his comfort zone. This is what you're giving him. The patience coming out of these pick and rolls is really impressive. As where he's going to be slow here. He's not rushing as he might before. He's waiting for his man Bagley to roll to the middle before he throws this lob for an easy layup. And then you have awesome passes like this where we see a similar double drag like the first clip of the video. But this time he notices a little gap right here and slings it in at full speed. This is such an awesome pass. Again, you see Killian gets cut off. He doesn't really have much here. There's a clogged paint, or at least ostensibly a clogged paint, but he sees a through window right past Luka and Dwight Powell, and that Tim Hardaway is not helping super hard, and he's able to make that pass. And just let's compare some of these possessions to some of his on-ball reps from a couple seasons ago, where Killian just looked lost, where so many of his possessions would be he brings the ball up and he just runs into a little shot like this that misses. There's no plan here. There's no thinking. There's no process. He's just driving straight into help. When the dig comes, he picks up the ball and he throws something bad up. This was just so common with him before. Even when he had these pick and roll chances, Killian wasn't really taking these and trying to run with them, where he just tried to isolate against his current teammate Boyan, who's not a great defender, and stonewall himself into the side of the basket there. Not ideal. It just, again, I think it's hard to quantify this without really just watching him play, but so much of his game in the past was marred by discomfort and uncertainty, and just plays where it's the beginning of the shot clock and I'm just going to drive into the middle for no reason and shoot a tough floater. When now there is just a sense of purpose with all of his plays. There's a sense of pace and calmness that has been missing, that was kind of expected to be good given Killian's rep as a playmaker before his career in the NBA. And it's great to see him turn this corner and start to improve his pull-up, improve his pacing, and with this Pistons construction, with all of the on-ball threats they have, Killian is in really a perfect opportunity to shine as this like off-ball playmaker, and his defense has been awesome. It is still awesome, and all of this is, kind of leading to a little resurgence, or I guess a surgence for for Killian Hayes into becoming an actual useful NBA player. It's cool to watch.